I wouldn't think that most BCBAs say I'm selling something, right? I would assume that they are saying they're providing a service, and that service would be to
Yes.
help people in some way. I would assume that if the copy that they were using felt uncomfortable to them because it was more of a sales pitch than helping, that there's some mismatch, and it wouldn't feel authentic.
But even in this, it's like the
Right.
the whole archetypes and everything, because like, we talk about how, to embed your values within your mission statement, and how you like make values based decisions,
Yeah,
and how like it's not just like a poster you put up on the wall,
correct.
hey, live life love whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know, not that that would be your business one, but
right.
whatever. But it's not just like a decoration, it's like you have to like really live it, and so
Yes.
you're embedding it in all parts of your life. But it really sounds like the archetypes, like, even though it's not values, and I love your answer that you gave us, it all kind of comes together,
Yes.
and like it helps to guide you and in what you're writing and how you're living.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the policies and procedures that we provide people, that's something that and when
Right.
I'm showing them, I'm like, okay, here are some templates, right? But, and a good example of this is the cancellation policy. Like, you may read that and like, ugh, that doesn't sit right with me, right? And so you have to change that. And so understanding your values or your archetype will help you write those procedures and policies so that it feels good to you, it feels right, and then you're living that in your work and your personal life. Does that make sense?
So important. Because if it doesn't feel good to you, what happens? A, you don't enforce them,
No.
right? And then you're burning out because everyone's walking all over you because you're not behind the thing that you said. You copy pasted it off
Yeah.
like some legal website and
Yeah.
it doesn't line up,
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's so important to weave those things through everything, all
Yes.
of the little
Yeah.
corners. And I think to your point, like the more we come into the world pretty authentic, right? And then all this stuff happens, and then we take on all this conditioning, right? However we want to say it in shorthand. And I am a certified life coach and a BCBA, so however you want to say it. Like, oh, I have to get back to what that was, and then we spend all of this time next trying to unravel what happened and become authentic again,
Right.
only changed because it's been through all of this. And so I think the more work you do, values, life coaching, running a business, opening and running a business is, I always say, it's like other than parenting, it's the number one most spiritual vehicle of instruction you could ever have. Like, no, everyone's like, open a business, it's going to be great. No one is like, and you're going to confront every single dark corner in your mind. Like,
Yeah.
and you're going to come up against it and you're going to fail and you're going to have to learn how to fail, or you can just stay there and fail. Or like, nobody tells you
Yeah.
that it's going to be like, the journey is going to be like the most expansive thing you could do if you let it be that. I just think it is. So anyway, that's another process of like becoming more authentic and branding with archetypes. It's just the
Yeah.
more you do, the more you get to like what you just said, Stephen, where everything you're doing is just easeful, because it's just lined up behind that. It's just lined up behind your authenticity. And I remember when I did mine, oh my God, I was so angry. I remember because to get licensed, I had to obviously go through the process, and it was like 8 years ago. And at that time, I was like a different person. April, you've known me all this time. I was like so edgy, and I was fighting in an MMA dojo like 12 hours a week. I like fast cars. Like, I was so in the masculine and so like didn't need anybody, walls around me, like everyone at arm's length. And so the Maverick was not a surprise to me. That's like the rebel archetype. And I was like, of course. And then my secondary came in as a romantic, which is like flirty and loving and sensual. And I was like, wrong. Take the assessment again. And you're not going to take it again. You are not allowed. Rule number one of branding with archetypes. It is always correct. You do not take it again. I was so mad. And I hung up on the woman. I was like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. I got to sit with this. And for me, that was actually the start of a complete personal transformation where like I had to look it in the face and be like, this is this thing I went over the assessment. I was like, no, I do believe this is reflective of what I truly believe. And I was like, ugh. So I had to learn the whole thing, talk about authenticity on its head. Like I just had to start learning that I am a human being behind all of this and really had to flip my whole script into being like just the caring, loving person I am, who does have a backbone of steel, versus the other way around, who comes out punching and then like, if you really get to know me, I love you. Right. So the whole thing had to flip. It was wrenching. I did not enjoy that process one bit, but now everything is lined up behind that and everything
Right.
is so much easier.
Right. Yeah, I think it's so important to do that, but like before or in the beginning stages of starting your business, because it's gonna get hard, right? And if you don't know who you are or what you stand for,
Yes.
that flexibility turns into unethical behavior very quickly. And like the comments I get a lot are like, I'm working for a company, I don't feel comfortable, I don't know how they could do that, I don't know why their focus is on billable hours all the time. And my response to that is, if you don't know your values or understand why you're doing this at a foundational level, your company will soon be the one focusing only on billable hours. Or you say you don't, but it is absolutely, like, everybody knows. Like, whether you're willing to admit it or not, everybody knows. Oh, we got to get those billable hours, and we got it, right? And like, you'll ask your employees, or someone will ask your employees, what is the main focus of this company? Billable hours. Billable hours. I don't know why it's always billable hours, right? Like, but that's just the way it is. It's like the system is set up to incentivize a low quality, high billable hours, high stress, high burnout. And if you don't have that foundation where you're like, yeah, no, we're not doing it this way,
Yep.
it's so easy to slide into it.